Fitted to anything the way you want to put it.
Now the Congress is calling it an exercise of polarization.
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बीजेपी का है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट बीजेपी का है, इन लोगों का क्या राय है नहीं जानते हैं, लेकिन असम का लोगों का कहना है अगर करना है तो 26 में करिए जहां में सीट बढ़ेगा। तो अगर करना है तो 2011 का एक सेंसस था, उस सेंसस में क्यों नहीं होगा?
So does the AIUDF.
Ultimately, our question is that you do this 24 or 26 once for all, not for twice. So that's why our demand is very clear. You do this as per 2011 census.
The left claims the Assam government is only dedicated to RSS communal politics.
Assam government is a most anti-national, anti-people, anti-minority, anti-Muslim government, and it is totally dedicated to RSS communal politics. So he behaving is like follow that line. There is no doubt about that.
In Kashmir, the PDP is trying to claim database delimitation is a lie under the BJP.
जो डिलिमिटेशन होता था वो नॉन क्रिटिकल होता था और इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से उसको किया जाता था, लेकिन बड़े दुख के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है कि जो जम्मू कश्मीर में हमारा डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन आया था, जो नए सिरे से डिलिमिटेशन हुआ, तो मैं अकेला नहीं कह रहा, या पीडीपी नहीं, हर एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ने कहा है कि वो सियासी तौर पे उसको छेड़छाड़ की गई है, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पार्टी को फ़ायदा देने के लिए वो सब कुछ किया गया।
Fact remains, delimitation is a long pending exercise.
The delimitation process were started once at 2001, but due to I don't know why it was not happening, but it is now delimitation will be there, and we welcome the decision of the election commissioner that delimitation will get one good perfect delimitation process, and thereby will get a perfect constituency.
It's an essential and timely process of a democracy. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
A look now at the top international news this morning. The South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol called for new strategies to boost exports for economic improvement in his New Year's address to the nation. Yoon, in fact, emphasized the seriousness of the worsening global economic conditions and the importance of export growth for the country's economy. Sending New Year's wishes to China, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen extended an olive branch to China, calling for military activities around Taiwan to be replaced by dialogue and cooperation. Taiwan also offered assistance if needed to China as it deals with the surge in COVID-19 numbers. Revelers braved the pouring rain in downtown Los Angeles to welcome the new year. They counted down to 2023 as lights illuminated the city hall and cheered as fireworks lit the skies. Notably, it was the first in-person New Year celebration in Los Angeles since 2019. China marked the first day of the 2023 with a flag-raising ceremony at the Tiananmen Square. People gathered in Beijing's Tiananmen Square to watch an honor guard raise the national flag. North Koreans turned out in large numbers in the snowy capital of Pyongyang to mark the start of the new year. Crowds climbed the Mansu Hill in the center of the city to lay flowers and bow to statues of past leaders Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-il-sung in a ceremonial show of respect. EU's chief Ursula von der Leyen has visited Brigana as Croatia switched to the euro and removed dozens of border checkpoints to join the world's largest passport-free travel area. Von der Leyen was received by the Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković. Multiple blasts rocked Kyiv and other areas in Ukraine, killing at least one person and wounding 14 others. Ukrainian officials claim that Russia was now deliberately targeting civilians, seeking to create a climate of fear to see out the year grimly. Lebanon's Navy and the UN peacekeepers rescued more than 200 migrants from a boat sinking in the Mediterranean Sea hours after it left northern Lebanon's coast. Reportedly, however, 2 migrants were killed in the incident. Alleging that she was drugged and sexually assaulted In 1986, another woman has sued the comedian actor Bill Cosby. The NBC Universal and other companies on Friday in New York, where 5 other women filed similar lawsuits earlier this month. Pope Francis prayed for his predecessor's passage to heaven as he presided over a special New Year's Day Mass at St. Peter's Basilica, a day after the Pope Emeritus Benedict the 16th died in a retirement home at the Vatican. You are with Republic TV. On the other side, it's a horrific hit-and-run case that's been reported from the national capital. A 20-year-old is mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 4 dead and 10 injured in a suspected terror attack in Rajouri. Initial reports suggest minorities were the target.
I am Priyanka Sharma from Gujarat, and this is Republic.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
जैन समाज की तरफ से ये प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो 2nd फ्लोर है और 3rd फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से ये प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस
Welcome back. You're watching Republic TV. Now, in a suspected terror attack, 4 civilians were killed and 5 others were injured after armed men entered a village in the Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces, of course, currently are conducting cordon and search operations in the wide area that surrounds this village. We are given to understand that intensive operations were launched after reports of this attack first came in. Gursimran is bringing us the latest from the attack site. Gursimran, take us through what's happening around here. We're given to understand that the cordon and search operations, of course, are on, and we can see those pictures on our screens. But this is a very densely forested area, isn't it? So how difficult is it going to be for security forces to scour this large area?
Yes, right now we are in the Dangri village where the cordon and the search operations are on, and since this area is a densely forested area, now the security forces are using the drones for the area surveillance. This is being done by the Indian Army to ensure that the terrorists don't get the cover under the water bodies or the dense forest that is here in the area. And for the same, the specialized drones that have been brought in here are being used, and also the massive cordon and the search operations that are being launched. You will find the movement of the security forces in every nook nook and the corner of the area, because the security forces are trying to ensure that those 3 terrorists, 2 to 3 terrorists, 2 being said initially, possibly one of the handler was somewhere else. So those terrorists, the security forces are trying to identify at an earliest and also to neutralize them, as also being said by the Jammu Police Chief Mukesh Singh, that we are trying to ensure that both terrorists are neutralized at an earliest, because this is the killings of the minority that has been carried out in a well-planned manner, because the terrorists came, they checked the Aadhaar card of those who were inside, and when they found that they are Hindus, then they are attacked. Entire area has been put under the cordon. If Sarjeevan can show you that the Indian Army has been deployed in every nook and the corner of the area, and they are also giving a real-time update to the headquarters about what is being monitored and what is happening on ground. Real-time monitoring is being done not only by the police but also by the Indian Army and the sister intelligence agencies. There is a regular march of the security forces in the low-lying areas as well as in the upper reaches. Since this is a densely forested area and the sunlight has come a couple of minutes back, now the security forces are eyeing to intensify the search operations that are on. They are because this is the perfect time the security forces can track those 2 terrorists who carried out the brutal killing in the Dangri village, that how these people, those from the Hindu community living in the 3 different houses. If Sarjeevan can show you, that is the first house that was targeted, and the second house is just right to me. This is the second house that has been attacked by the terrorist, and now the drone surveillance being done. See, this is the sophisticated drones of the Indian Army that are being used for the area surveillance by the Indian Army, so as to find out and also to look into the remote areas of the Dhangri in Rajouri to find out what is actually happening. Now it will be sent on another sortie by the troops of the Indian Army. This is being done so as to ensure that those water bodies, the nalas and the densely forested areas, they are thoroughly checked, and only then they will get a major clue that how these terrorists have taken somewhere shield, because what the agencies suspect that the drones are being used so to find this hiding terrorist in the area, and also the battery is being changed, and then it will be sent for the another sortie by the Indian Army to find out, to trace those terrorists who are still hiding in the area. Yes, and we will be continuing.
This is Samiksha Srivastava reporting from Mumbai, and this is Republic.
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
A look at the top sports news this morning as BCCI convened a review meeting of the team in Mumbai to review India's dismal performance in the ICC T20 World Cup, where India lost badly in the semi-final match to England by 10 wickets. The board announced that it has shortlisted 20 players for the ICC World Cup 2023 in October to be held in India. Sri Lanka's white ball cricket team has left the country for their tour of India, which kickstarts Tuesday. The tour comprises of 3 T20s and as many one-day internationals. Sri Lanka will be touring India from the 3rd to the 15th of January. Pakistan and New Zealand will be targeting a much-awaited test victory and leave a disappointing 2022 behind in the red ball cricket when they lock horns in the second test of their 2-match series from Monday. Earlier, New Zealand had made a strong bid to chase down 138 in the last hour of the first test on Friday. Najam Sethi chaired the second meeting of Pakistan's Cricket Control Board at the National High Performance Centre, where it was decided to continue the Pakistan Junior League and to revive the Junior Series on home and away basis in order to provide a pathway for young high-performing cricketers. The Sydney Football Club were back to winning ways after a comfortable 2-0 victory over Newcastle Jets on Sunday. The win moved Sydney up 6 spots to 5th position in the A-League. Abdul Aziz Al Shahrani's goal in the 91st minute secured a 2-all draw for Damac against their hosts Al Hilal in the 11th round of the Russian Saudi League. Al Shahrani took advantage of Al Hilal's goalkeeper's mistake and put the ball in the back of the empty net. And the game between Spain and Espanyol turned testy, with referee Antonio Mateo losing his control and showing a second yellow card to Barcelona defender Jordi Alba for protesting in the 78th, Espanyol's Vinicius Souza for fouling a home player on the break of the 80th. Table toppers Arsenal have consolidated their lead at the top of the English Premier League after a comprehensive 4-2 victory over Brighton. Arsenal took the lead within 2 minutes of the start of the game thanks to Bukayo Saka's clinical finish. Before half-time, Martin Odegaard scored and Eddie Nketiah made it 2 goals in 2 games since replacing the injured Gabriel Jesus. You are watching Republic TV. On the other side, it's a horrific hit-and-run case that's been reported from the national capital. A 22-year-old is killed and dragged for nearly 4 kilometers. 5 arrested. The victim's family alleges foul play, but the police denies these allegations.
This is Rukma Datta reporting from Delhi, and this is Republic.
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूं और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
Viewers, a very good morning. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Shivangi Shukla. This Monday morning, we'll get you all the top updates. But before that, the top stories we're tracking right now. Second Stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. Who will take the responsibility? Horrific hit-and-run case in national capital. 20-year-old mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 5 arrested. Victim's family alleges foul play, but police refuse. Family demands CBI investigation. Yet another cowardly attack in Jammu and Kashmir. 4 shot dead within 10 minutes. In Rajouri. Big focus on notes ban. Top court to pronounce a judgment on the demonetization. Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah case in court today. Court to decide on survey timings. Viewers, let's go to our top story right now. 20-year-old woman died in the horrific Delhi hit-and-run case on December 31st after her scooty collided with a car and she was dragged for a considerable amount of time, considerable distance as well. Republic spoke to her family, who has claimed that it was not an accident. They claim the scooty and the body has been found in 2 different places, further alleging something wrong must have happened with her, viewers. So this is the Delhi hit-and-run case in which a 20-year-old woman died after a scooty collided with her car, and that car dragged her. That car dragged the 20-year-old woman for several kilometers on December 5th, and this has happened on December 31st, and this has shocked the city. This incident has shocked the city. The Republic TV has also accessed the CCTV footage of the car going down the road. Let's go ahead to Piyush, who is joining us live right now. And Piyush, this incident has shocked the city because a 20-year-old was dragged for several kilometers, not 1 kilometer, several kilometers, Piyush. What do we know so far right now about this case and the investigation?
Well, you rightly mentioned, Shivangi, that this case has actually shaken the national capital. In fact, this has once again reaffirmed the dubious distinction of the national capital of how unsafe it is for women. But now it seems that this incident can be more than what meets the eye, and it perhaps may not have been mishap. We are reporting from the house of Anjali, that unfortunate woman who lost her life in that fateful night of 1st January, where she reportedly met with an accident and was then dragged for more than 4 kilometers. But over here, I want to again reassert that it might now seem that it may not be accident, because the family members are claiming that this is a clear case where it is where Anjali was raped and then murdered brutally. In fact, I will just like to tell you that one of the 5 accused, there are 5 accused who have been apprehended by the Delhi police, and one of the 5 accused has been identified as Manoj Mittal. Now he supposedly is a ration dealer who is working in P Block Sultanpuri, but he's also a BJP worker, and this is what the family members are claiming. Because he is a BJP worker, he has some influence, and that's why he is being shielded by the Delhi police. I would just like my Vijay Narudeshwar to just show you the image of Manoj Mittal, one of the accused who has been apprehended by the Delhi police. You can see this person who is fat person is Manoj Mittal, and it has been written very boldly over here that Bhai Manoj Mittal को भाजपा अवार्ड 42 मंगोलपुरी का सह संयोजक बनाने पर हार्दिक धन्यवाद. So you can understand over here that this person, this accused, has got a political influence, and this is what now is being expressed very openly by the family members of Anjali, that because he has political influence, he is being shielded. In fact, I'm also going to have a word with the family members to get you a sense of what they actually feel and why they feel that now there should be a thorough investigation that should be done in this case, and why it is important that there are more questions now that needs to be answered by the Delhi police. Let us just have a word with them. आपका नाम क्या है?
अनिल लांबा.
आप अंजलि से किस प्रकार से रिलेटेड है सर?
मैं उनका मौसा लगता हूँ.
आपको लगता है कि ये एक्सीडेंट नहीं है?
एक्सीडेंट बनाया जा रहा है, पुलिस वाले बना रहे हैं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
आपको ऐसा क्यों लगता है?
लगता है कि एक्सीडेंट होता, छोटी गाड़ी है, 10-10 किलोमीटर बार बार यू टर्न घुमा के गाड़ी के नीचे आता है, पता नहीं लगता आपको. 1-2 किलो का है वो, तो 40-50 किलो वजन की लड़की, मालूम नहीं था. जानबूझ के एक्सीडेंट बना रहा है, ये कुछ उसके साथ गलत हुआ और बाद में इसको एक्सीडेंट बना रहे हैं. ये दबाने की कोशिश चल रही है इनके मामले की, पुलिस वाले दबा रहे हैं इस मामले में.
आपने बोला है कि मनोज मित्तल जो एक अक्यूज है, इसमें जो अक्यूज है उसको बचाया जा रहा है क्योंकि वो भाजपा से संबंधित है. आपने मेरे को वो भी दिखाया है. क्यों लगता है आपको, और आपको लगता है कि उसने पैसे देकर ऐसे कुछ किया है?
बिल्कुल, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि पैसे खिलाकर पुलिस वालों को मुंह बंद किया, केस को दबाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. तो गरीब परिवार लड़के, गरीब परिवार की, उसको तलाने वाली वो अकेली है. 6-7 लोगों को वही खिलाती थी, कुछ भी अगर का खर्चा उठाती थी. अब वो तो है नहीं. अब ये पुलिस वालों को सेटिंग करके ले देके इस मामले को बंद करवा रहे, रोड एक्सीडेंट बना रहे हैं इसको.
मैं भी मौसा हूँ लड़की का.
आप किस प्रकार से रिलेटेड है अंजलि से?
मैं उसका मौसा लगता हूँ. हाँ जी. हाँ, मौसा लगता हूँ मैं लड़की का. हाँ जी. और ये है ना केस, ये केस बनाया गया है. हमें लगता है ये मर्डर का मामला है.
So you can see over here that the family members are now making a stunning revelations that this is all a cover-up which is being done by the Delhi police. This is not an accident, but this is a clear case where Anjali, a 20-year-old, was murdered after being sexually assaulted. So yes, many questions now needs to be answered by the Delhi police, and it will be interesting to see that what course of investigation here on will be taken by the Delhi police. Back to you in the studio.
Right. Piyush, Ori, stay with us. You're reporting live from the accident site. And I also want to go across to Tanisha, who's joining us live as well. Tanisha, now we know that the first information that the Delhi DCP is saying, telling Republic, is that what happened was a person was dragged by the car. And we also know, this is what the police is saying, that they had collided, that the car had collided with a scooty and they were not aware that the victim had come under the vehicle and was dragged. So this is exactly what the accused are saying right now. Go ahead and tell us what do you know about this update.
Very, very good morning to you, Shivangi. A very tragic start to the New Year's, we might say. Yes, there are now the accused have given their version of why and how the incident happened. Like you said, the accused did tell the cops that it was because they thought that they had hit the scooty and the girl might have stood up for herself and then sided by the lane is when they moved forward. But when the cops asked them about if they didn't feel something under their car which was getting dragged, they said there were bumpers on the road and this could happen. This is usually happening. So they didn't feel anything was there under the car. But the question is, if they did collide with the scooty, why didn't they care about getting out from the car and having a look if the girl was safe and sound? Now another angle coming to this story is about the intoxicated state that the 5 accused were in. Remember, the blood samples were collected of the 5 accused, and today the results were come out which will get us clear about the fact if the 5 accused were in an intoxicated state or not. And if it was, right now we only have cases on death due to negligence on these 5 accused, and if intoxication is what comes out in the report and the blood samples, then it will be clear that it is a hit and run case totally with intoxication by the 5 accused. So clearly a very tragic incident coming to the fore, where right now Piyush Ori, our colleague, has managed to get a very big lead, which says that one of the accused in this case is a BJP member. So clearly allegations of the parents, of the family members of the victim also alleges that she was not just murdered but she was also raped. Now if we can't, the visuals of that girl are so dreaded that we cannot show it to our viewers, but reports are claiming that the condition of the body was so worse that her abdomen skin was taken out, her right knee bone was outside, and it was in a condition that nobody could even look at. So in such a dreaded condition, the accused managed to flee after dragging her for several kilometers, as you were saying. So this is a really tragic incident coming to fore. Picture will only be clear soon after the post-mortem is conducted. We are right now moving towards Sanjay Gandhi Hospital, where her post-mortem will be conducted, and then it will be clear if she was only murdered or if she was sexually assaulted by the accused as well. Shivangi.
Right, Tanisha. Thank you for getting us those details. And viewers, very shocking details coming out. In fact, we'll talk a little bit more about it. We'll talk about what the DCW chief Swati Maliwal has said as well. But before that, I just want our viewers to have a look at this conversation that Piyush Ori has had with the family members of the victim.
आप उनके मामा हैं अंजलि के, आपको लगता है कि ये एक्सीडेंट नहीं हुआ है, शायद कुछ और है, आप थोड़ा बताइए विस्तार में, आप क्या बताना चाहते हैं?
सर उसके साथ गलती हुआ है, वो तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन बोल रहे हैं कि पुलिस वाले चल रही है, पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा। ठीक है, 24 घंटे हो गए, बच्चे को दिखाया भी नहीं है, घर वालों को, हमारे को, किसी को नहीं दिखाया। 24 घंटे परसों 9 बजे हमारी बहन ने फ़ोन किया था अंजलि को कि बेटा कब आएगी सब्जी के लिए, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ। फिर वो कह रही 10:30 बजे दोबारा फ़ोन किया, फ़ोन स्विच ऑफ गया 10:30 बजे, फिर नहीं मिला, फिर सुबह 7 बजे करा तब भी नहीं मिला। पुलिस प्रशासन कहता है कि ये एक्सीडेंट है, ठीक है, और लड़की को इतनी दूर तक।
आपको पुलिस का फ़ोन कितने बजे आया था कल?
इनके पास सुबह 7 बजे से 8 बजे के बीच में आया था कि जी ये गाड़ी है, वेरीफाई हुई है, स्कूटी थी जुपिटर, तो वो इनके नाम पे है, रेखा के नाम पे। पुलिस वाला बोल रहा था कि इस रोड पे हादसा हुआ है, तो जो भी था इसमें ख़त्म हो गया है, पर पहले प्रशासन का यही तो होता है, अगर कोई ख़त्म हो गया तो उसके परिजनों को मिलवाया जाए कि पहचान के लिए, बट ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं हुआ।
आपसे को पुलिस क्यों नहीं मिलवा रही उनसे? कोई दलील दे रही है पुलिस की आपको क्यों नहीं मिलवा रही? क्योंकि अब 24 घंटे से भी ज़्यादा हो गया है, अब तो मिला देना चाहिए, क्यों नहीं मिला रही?
पुलिस वाले उन मुजरिमों का पूरी सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, जो भी है। कोई ये नहीं कि मतलब कि इनको मिलवाया हो, थाने में ले जाके इनको बिठा दिया 2-3 घंटे तक।
आपको क्यों लगता है कि पुलिस वाले उनका साथ दे रही है? आपको लगता है वो रसूखदार है, वो अमीर है, इसलिए उनका साथ दे रही है?
यस, उसके अंदर एक बीजेपी का बंदा है, उसके साथ उनके अंदर वो इन्वॉल्व है इस केस में, मनोज मित्तल। उसका बाहर बोर्ड भी लगा हुआ है, बीजेपी का मोटा सा आदमी है। उस केस को दबाने के लिए वो पूरी सपोर्ट कर रहा है वो इंसान।
मनोज मित्तल आपको लगता है कि उस गाड़ी में भी था?
गाड़ी में है, बंद है वो तो, 5 बंदों में बंद है वो तो। थाने में बंद है जब भी तो बंदे ने कुछ ना कुछ अंदर कुछ ना कुछ घोटाला करा है, पुलिस वालों से मिल गए। SHO ने तो मीडिया को भी धक्का दिया है जब मीडिया अंदर घुसी है, और इस कारण ये रात में इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने गए और वहाँ पे चश्मदीद गवाह ने ये कहा कि मतलब कि आगे 3-4 बार ये गाड़ी 20 की स्पीड में, बॉडी नीचे पड़ी थी, 20 की स्पीड में घूमी है, 4 चक्कर लगा है, यू टर्न लिया है। तो पुलिस वाले कहाँ थे उस दौरान? मतलब नए साल भी था, पुलिस की इतनी सिक्योरिटी होने के बावजूद भी ये इस वारदात को अंजाम, इतना भयानक हादसा, ये तो मिली जुली सरकार वो हो रही है।
मैं आपसे एक और चीज़ पूछना चाहता हूँ। आप बोल रहे हैं कि इसे मनोज मित्तल जो अक्यूज़ड है वो बीजेपी से उसके संबंध है, इसलिए उसको पुलिस बचा रही है। मैं आपसे एक और चीज़ पूछना चाहता हूँ कि क्या मनोज मित्तल किसी तरह से अंजलि को जानता था पहले या कभी?
सर ऐसा तो हमारे को नहीं पता, ऐसा हमारे को कुछ नहीं पता, बट इधर ही आसपास का है तो क्या पता। अब इस केस की अगर इस केस की छानबीन अगर CBI अच्छी तरह करे, हम तो सरकार से ही चाहते हैं कि केस की छानबीन हो और इंसाफ मिले।
आपको पुलिस वालों ने बुलाया है पोस्टमार्टम के लिए भी?
पुलिस वालों ने हमारे को कुछ नहीं बोला, बस ये बताया कि कल पोस्टमार्टम होगा। उन्होंने IO का नंबर भी नहीं दिया।
सर, ये एक बहुत ही दुखदाई ह्यूमन स्टोरी है जिसमें एक 20 साल की बच्ची जो हमें मालूम है कि दिल्ली बहुत ही अनसेफ शहर है वुमेन के लिए, लेकिन वो रात को जा रही है क्योंकि वो अपने परिवार का पालन पोषण करना चाहती है। थोड़ा अपने परिवार के बारे में बताइए और हमें बताइए कि किस प्रकार से अंजलि ने इतनी मुश्किलों के साथ आपको पालन पोषण किया।
जी, उस लड़की ने घर की आदमी थी, वो अपना घर का पालन पोषण करने के लिए वही लड़की थी, जैसे मर्जी कर करके अपने छोटे भाइयों को पाल रही थी। ये हादसा बहुत दर्दनाक है। इसमें हम सरकार से यही चाहते हैं कि ये केस CBI को सौंपा जाए। पुलिस प्रशासन के ऊपर हमारे को कुछ भरोसा नहीं है।
कितने भाई बहन थे अंजलि के?
अंजलि के 6 भाई बहन थे, 4 बहन 2 भाई। ये दूसरे नंबर की अंजलि थी।
क्या क्या करते थे उनके बहन और भाई अभी के?
नहीं, वही लड़की अकेली करती थी। बड़ी बहन की एक की छोटी की शादी करी, एक की बड़ी की शादी करी। बड़ी लड़की ये थी और तो 3 भाई।
All right, viewers, so we heard that conversation that Piyush has had with the family members. Now, the DCW chief Swati Malavan has summoned the DCP outer over the hit-and-run case. Malavan said the woman was dragged on the road for around 7 to 8 kilometers. She said the body was found on the road without any clothes as well, viewers. So this is a story we are tracking right now, and we'll get you all the updates as we know of them breaking first here on Republic TV. Let's move on to the other story we're tracking right now. In a suspected terror attack, 4 civilians, they have been killed and 5 others were injured after armed men entered a village in the Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. So we're learning about this case which has happened. There were 3 civilians were killed, 7 injured in this incident, viewers. This happened in Rajouri district in Jammu and Kashmir. Also, we know that 2 armed men allegedly opened fire, leading to casualties and injuries. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir police and army have launched a search operation right now. We also know that the deceased have been identified as Deepak Kumar, Pritam Lal and Satish Kumar. And the police has said that there are some critically injured who are being airlifted to Jammu for specialized treatment. Let's go ahead to Gursimran, who's joining us live right now. Gursimran, take us through what we know about this firing incident in Rajouri, which has left 3 people dead, 7 locals injured. Who is behind this terror attack?
Yes. See the visuals we are getting it. Senior officials of the Indian Army too have arrived here at the spot. The choppers are landing with each and every passing minute. The senior officials of the Indian Army landing here in the Rajouri, where this unfortunate incident has taken place, where the terrorists have taken away the lives of 4 Hindu civilians after identifying them via their ID cards, and intensified searches are underway. Drones being used, senior officials being rushed to the Rajouri site, and also the massive search operations that have been launched by the Indian Army. The Indian Army jawans and officials, they are in the positions to counter any kind of plot of the enemy. They are using the air surveillance via drone, and also the ambushes they have installed here. See that the jawans of the Indian Army, they are placed in a combat positions. They are in the positions to tackle any kind of attempt by the enemy. The ambush has been installed by the Indian Army, and now this will continue till the time those 2 terrorists are neutralized by the security forces. These 2 terrorists who are still at large, they are deadly terrorists as they are carrying a huge cache of arms and ammunition. That how they were planning to carry out a massacre kind of incident in the Rajouri village of the Jammu and Kashmir, and you will find the visible movement of the security forces, that how the Indian Army jawans, they are moving from one place to another as and when they are getting the directions from those who have been deployed in the forward area based on the inputs they are generating via drones, because drones are playing a very key role when it comes to these kind of operations. Since the terrorists are taking the advantage of the dense forest cover, now the drones have been pressed into the service, and also what the security forces are doing, that they are following each and every input really very seriously, that the movement of the force is done in accordance with the input that is being generated by the drone as well as the human intelligence, so that those 2 terrorists, those who are heavily armored, they can be neutralized at an earliest. Yes, Shivangi.
Right. All right. So we know the firing ended within 10 minutes, and the firing took place at 3 houses separated at a distance of around 50 meters each from each other. We know these things. Now, do we know that, which organization or which terror outfit do these terrorists belong to?
Shivangi, after speaking to some of the officials in the intelligence agencies and also what is running on the dark web by these terror groups, we can say that this is a group of Jaish-e-Mohammed that has carried out this act of terror in the area, and also this group is heavily armored with 2 terrorists. There is a high possibility of presence of more than 1 group in the area. This is something that is coming out very recently, that there is a visible presence of more than 1 group in the area. So the police and the security forces not have to tackle these 2 terrorists, but there is likely presence of some more terrorists in the area that could also pose a challenge. But the security forces are on a all-out run against these terrorists, so that they don't carry out any other act of terror. See, these kind of water bodies are here where a terrorist or any terrorist sympathizers, they can easily hide, and so you won't find them even from 5 or 10 feet distance. So that is why the drones are being used for the air surveillance of the area. This is what the modus operandi of the terrorists have been in the past, to hide in the areas, to hide in the water bodies. See, these kind of water bodies are here in this very area that is very tricky to tackle when it comes when the terrorist takes a cover of these water bodies, and that's why the security forces and the Indian Army, they are using the drones to carry out the surveillance of the area. The drones are being pressed in the entire area, multiple drones being used. I'm sure that Sarjeevan is getting the visuals of the drone that is being used by the Indian Army to do the surveillance of the entire area. Shivangi.
Right. Well, Gursimran is getting us all the details exactly from the attack site in Rajouri. These are exclusive images you're watching right now on Republic TV, because Gursimran is getting us the top updates, exclusive images. Thank you, Gursimran. We'll keep an update on the story, keep an eye on the story, and give us all the breaking updates we're getting. We know that 3 people are dead and 7 locals are injured after a firing incident was reported in Rajouri. All right, let's move ahead to what else is making news from across India. Suspected terror attack, 4 civilians were killed and 5 others were injured after armed men entered a village in Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. 3 people have died in a stampede during Telugu Desam Party's public meeting in Guntur. This comes just a few days after 8 were killed in another stampede during the TDP president and the former chief minister Naidu's rally in Nellore. Second stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. The TDP national president expressed shock at the incident at Guntur and announced 5 lakh rupee each as financial assistance to the families who lost their beloved ones. Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has expressed shock over the stampede which led to the loss of lives at Guntur. Sources claim that the CM Reddy has instructed officials to ensure quality Medicare to those injured and to stand by the families of the deceased. A shocking hit-and-run case from Delhi. A 20-year-old woman died after she was hit and dragged for a few kilometers by a car in the Sultanpuri area. The post-mortem of the 20-year-old girl to be conducted in the Sanjay Gandhi Hospital. Post-mortem of the 20-year-old girl will be conducted very soon today. Mathura court orders a survey of Shahi Eidgah mosque to be commenced from today, January 2nd. And while the report has to be submitted by January 20th, the court ordered a survey on the claim of the Hindu Sena in Mathura's Sri Krishna Jan Asthan. Sources claim that a terrorist hurled a grenade toward a bunker of the Central Reserve Police Force near Mirza Kamil Chowk in Srinagar, which exploded on the roadside. One civilian sustained injuries and was shifted to the nearby hospital. BJP President JP Naidu is to launch a drive from Chandrapur as part of the party's plan to win 18 difficult seats from Maharashtra in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Naidu will address rallies at different places, including Chandrapur in East Maharashtra and Aurangabad in the Marathwada region. Supreme Court is scheduled to pronounce its judgment on a batch of pleas challenging the government's 2016 decision to demonetize currency notes of Rs 1,000 and Rs 500 denominations. A 5-judge constitution bench headed by Justice S.A. Nazir is likely to pronounce its verdict on the matter today. TV actor Shazan Khan, accused in the actor Tunisha Sharma's death case, will file the first bail application. Earlier, he was sent to 14-day judicial custody. So far, the police have recorded the statements of 27 people in the matter. Viewers, what's coming up on the other side? We are live breaking this morning. Second stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. Who will take the responsibility? Plus, big focus on notes ban, top court to pronounce judgment on demonetization. Stay tuned.
This is Shivangi Shukla reporting from Delhi NCR, and this is Republic.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूं और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूं और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग
Viewers, when you use a very bad example to make a very good point, then you leave people confused. There is this item number in a recent movie promo that is being used by some Bollywood celebs to make a case for freedom of expression. Viewers, Bollywood has no moral right to suddenly read scripted and written statements on civil liberties and freedom of expression when they know that they remained quiet every time their own faced serious allegations of sexual abuse. They did not speak up for the victims then, and Bollywood was completely quiet. When in Mumbai, a Navy veteran was thrashed by Uddhav's men for sharing a meme, and when every single human right was violated by successive establishments, they remained quiet. After being silent and comatose, in fact comatose, not silent, on freedom of expression or civil liberties for decades, now reading a few scripted lines may work in a Bollywood film, but it does not work in real life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
The headlines at this hour: second stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. Who will take the responsibility? Horrific hit and run case in national capital. 20-year-old mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 5 arrested. Victim's family alleges foul play, but police refutes. Family demands CBI investigation. Yet another cowardly attack in Jammu and Kashmir. 4 shot dead within 10 minutes in Rajouri. Big focus on notes ban. Top court to pronounce judgment on demonetization today. Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah case in court today. Court to decide on survey timing. Hello and welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking here on Republic TV. I'm Rukma with you and getting you first the latest updates on the national capital horrific hit and run case. The first reactions of Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi Chief Minister, on the hit and run horrific incident. He has tweeted, and I quote, "What happened to our sister in Kanjawala is very shameful. I hope that the culprits are punished severely." So the Delhi Chief Minister's first reaction to the horrific hit and run case in which a young 20-year-old was dragged nearly 4 kilometers. And Piyush Ori joining us now with this latest update. Piyush Ori, for the latest updates you have, firstly, as far as reactions of the Delhi government are concerned, Arvind Kejriwal's first response. Of course, earlier we had heard the DCW chief, Delhi Commission for Women chief, also speaking on this matter. Now, we believe that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has reacted to the incident. It's over to you for all this and also the latest updates in the case. What is the buzz that you're getting, the sense that you're getting? What details are there available on the ground?
So yes, good morning Rukma, and good morning to all our viewers who are viewing us at the moment. You rightly mentioned that after the Delhi Commission of Women Chief Swati Malewal, now the Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal has also reacted to this horrific and a shocking incident, and an incident which has now led to more questions being asked of what actually would have happened that night. The Delhi police may be claiming that this is a mishap, but the family members are quite sure that this is a case where 20-year-old Anjali was first raped. In fact, she was gang raped and then murdered brutally. So yes, the investigation in this case is going on, but the family members are claiming that there is more than what meets the eye. Having said that, the Delhi Chief Minister has also reacted on what has happened on the unfortunate night of 1st January, where Anjali, this 20-year-old girl, died reportedly due to accident. And he has said that the police has registered the case under very light sections. Let me just tell you the sections under which the police has registered the case. The police has registered the case under section 279, which rash driving, and 304A, which means death caused due to rash driving. Now, this is a bailable offence, so which means that all these 5 accused which have been apprehended by the Delhi police may come out on bail. So the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has demanded that a thorough investigation should be done on this case, and yes, if required be, the police should book these accused under more stringent sections. So it is now going to be interesting to see that from here on what course of investigation the Delhi police is going to take, because as I told you that the family members are claiming that because there are some people, there are some people and accused who are political links that may be involved in this case, there is a cover-up which is being done by the Delhi police. So how the Delhi police is going to react to this criticism, it is going to be interesting to see from here on. Back to you in the studio.
Well, the call is for justice for this 20-year-old. Of course, the Delhi police right now refuting all charges of there having been a rape. They are still maintaining that this is a hit-and-run case, while the perpetrators claim that they were not even aware even as they dragged the body of a young girl nearly 4 kilometers, maybe even more, on the road on which they were driving. The incident dates back to the 31st of December. So as the year ends on a tragic note for this family, and these are visuals of the spot where it took place. And as far as latest details are concerned, it's said that the young girl was on her way back from work. She was the sole breadwinner of her family. Let's move on now to other news stories that we're tracking. The Telugu Desam Party chief N. Chandrababu Naidu has expressed shock at the stampede that took place during a TDP event attended by him in Guntur, in which 3 women lost their lives and several others were injured. The former Andhra Pradesh chief minister has announced 5 lakhs in financial aid for the bereaved families. The incident comes just 3 days after 8 people were killed during a similar TDP event in Nellore in southern Andhra Pradesh. This is another stampede in which Chandrababu Naidu's TDP is involved. Earlier, we had been reporting how his rivals had said that this is a common occurrence in his rallies, because he wants to build up a hype about the kind of following he has, about the kind of attendance that his rallies have had. Aneri joining us with the latest update on this. Aneri, tragic news about another stampede. Within just a few days, more people suffering as a result. Well, so how true is it, the earlier allegations that, Chandrababu Naidu holds his rallies in small areas in order to hype his following, to give the impression of a huge fan following? Is that in some way responsible for what happened in this particular stampede, in this particular incident?
Well, Rukma, we have been seeing how the incident which was reported on 28th of December in Nellore, and now yet another incident of stampede was reported from Guntur, where the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest here. Well, it was a program of a foundation which was being held, and the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was the chief guest, and also they were distributing some gifts as a part of Sankradri festival. The TDP chief was the chief guest, and they were distributing some gifts to the people. And also this is the very ground where you can see that a large number of people had gathered. Well, this is the very ground where the public meeting had taken place. TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu had also addressed the public meeting here, but then later, as the situation went out of hands, well, we also see that because there were large number of people who gathered, and then there was a huge cry over the gifts being distributed at the back end, and so now you can see how there was a stampede like situation. And this is the very place where there was a lot of movement, and that is why we see that 3 people have lost their life, and also at the same time several others are said to be injured, and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital. But now when we talk about what exactly is happening, because earlier also in Nellore we had seen that similar sort of incident where TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu was holding a roadshow, and then we see that 8 people lost their life. And when we talk about the Guntur accident which happened yesterday night, where you can see how they are slippers of people, they were running from here to there because the situation went out of hands. And also at the same time, now definitely a lot of questions being raised in regard with the law and order situation, whereas the TDP says it's the YSRCP government and they are not providing proper facilities, no proper law and order here in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and that is the reason why all of this is happening. Whereas the ruling government, the YSRCP government here, are blaming it on the TDP chief Chandrababu Naidu, that despite that such event had happened in Nellore, then why do they hold such huge public meetings and public rallies? Well, this is not the first rally, or this is not the first public meeting which was being led by TDP chief. Earlier also he has been doing similar programs, but then also at the same time, now the larger question remains is that how many people were supposed to attend, because what we see through the visuals which we have accessed very clearly shows that there was large number of crowd. Thousands of people had gathered here. This is very small ground, Rukma, compared to the other grounds, because as per the ground capacity, we see that the people here were in large number, and that led to a stampede like situation, and that is the reason why we see that 3 people have lost their life and several others are injured, and they are undergoing treatment at the hospital. Whereas the police officials were there at the spot. They took stock of the situation, and now further investigation is being done by the police officials.
So Republic, there are my colleague at the Stampede site in Guntur in Andhra Pradesh, where that massive tragedy took place. Another stampede, a few more lives lost once again. This is a stampede that took place on last night, even as it was the TDP, the Telugu Desam Party of Chandrababu Naidu, that was holding another rally. Earlier to in Nellore, it was the TDP again that was holding a rally in which 8 people lost their lives. The rivals claim that that huge crowds are collected in small areas on purpose by Chandrababu Naidu in order to present a show of having a huge following or having a huge attendance. What is the truth? But there has to be some accountability. Although ex gratia had been announced by the party itself, relief had been announced by the party itself in the earlier incident, there has to be some accountability. Questions are being raised on crowd control measures that were in place, even as a blame game has begun. Let's move on now to other stories that we're tracking. In a major terror attack, 4 civilians killed, 5 others injured after armed men enter a village in Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. 3 people dead in a stampede during Telugu Desam Party's public meeting in Guntur. This comes just a few days after 8 were killed in another stampede during the TDP president and former Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu's rally in Nellore. Second stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. TDP national president expresses shock at the incident at Guntur. Announces 5 lakh rupees each as financial assistance to families of those who lost their beloved ones. Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy expresses shock over stampede which led to the loss of lives at Guntur. Sources claim that CM Reddy has instructed officials to ensure quality Medicare to those injured and to stand by the families of the deceased. In a shocking hit-and-run case from Delhi, a 20-year-old woman died after she was hit and dragged for a few kilometers by a car in the Sultanpuri area of the national capital. Post-mortem of 20-year-old girl to be conducted in Sanjay Gandhi Hospital. Post-mortem of the girl who was dragged after she was hit by the car to be held at the Sanjay Gandhi Hospital today. Mathura court orders a survey of Shahi Eidgah to begin from the 2nd of January, that's today, while the report has to be submitted by January 20th. The court orders survey by Amin on the claim of the Hindu Sena in Mathura's Sri Krishna Janmasthan. Sources claim that terrorists hurled a grenade towards a bunker of the Central Reserve Police Force near Mirza Kamil Chowk in Srinagar, which exploded on the roadside. One civilian sustained injuries and was shifted to a nearby hospital. BJP President JP Nadda to launch a drive from Chandrapur as part of the party's plan to win 18 difficult seats from Maharashtra in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Nadda will address rallies at Chandrapur in East Maharashtra and Aurangabad in the Marathwada region. Supreme Court is scheduled to pronounce its judgment on batch of pleas challenging the government's 2016 decision to demonetize currency of 1,000 rupees and 500 rupees denominations. Nazir is likely to pronounce its verdict on the matter today. Well, in the latest update in the Tunisia murder case, Shehzan Khan expected to file bail. Time now for a short break, but coming up after that, horrific hit-and-run case in national capital. 20-year-old mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 5 arrested. Big focus on notes ban. Top court to pronounce judgment on demonetization.
I am Suesha Sawant reporting from New Delhi. This is Republic.
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि
You're watching live and breaking here on Republic, and let's move on now to the other top story that we are tracking. It will be the Mathura Shahi Eidgah case after the survey will be conducted today. The local court in Uttar Pradesh's Mathura has ordered the survey of the Shahi Eidgah mosque, saying that it will be built on the Krishna Janmabhoomi, or the birthplace of Lord Krishna, by the Archaeological Survey of India after the 2nd of January. The report will be submitted after the 20th. The court passed the order on a lawsuit filed by Vishnu Gupta of the Hindu Sena, which said the survey will be similar to the one in Varanasi's Gyanvapi Mosque, where a shivling was said to be found during a survey. The court today will decide on the timeline for the survey. Harsha live on this story. Harsha, what are the updates you're getting? The kind of the conversation that has arisen out of the fact that there is most likely to be a survey of the Shahi Eidgah area.
Exactly, Rukma. We are getting to know that an official survey has to be conducted of the disputed complex of Shahi Eidgah, which is at Sri Krishna Janmasthan in Mathura. It was ordered by the Civil Judge Senior Division 3 of the Mathura Court. And when exactly the survey will happen, till now the date is not known. It is known that the report will be submitted on January 20th, and Court Amin will tell both the sides on what date the survey will be conducted. Rukma, we are joined by Advocate Shailesh Dubey, who is representing Hindu Sena. Shailesh sir, a very good morning to you. Sir, what can we expect today? आज क्या उम्मीद की जा सकती है? क्या आज सर्वे होगा या सर्वे की तारीख 1-2 दिन बाद हो सकती है?
गुड मॉर्निंग हर्षिता जी। पहले तो मैं सभी को नववर्ष की शुभकामना देना चाहूँगा। मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि आज अवकाश के बाद डेट न्यायालय खुल रहा है और आज हमको अमीन महोदय के द्वारा डेट को सुनिश्चित करना था कि किस दिन वो जाकर अमीन की आख्या अपनी मौका का निरीक्षण करेंगे और संभवतः आज ये हमें दिनांक मिल जानी चाहिए, जिसके बाद की जो भी दिन निश्चित करेंगे उसमें पक्षकारगण को दोनों को सूचना होगी और सभी लोग वहां पर जाकर उनके साथ में मौके का निरीक्षण करवाएंगे।
एक और चीज़ शैलेश जी, जब ये निरीक्षण होगा, जब सर्वे होगा, तो सिर्फ कोर्ट के अमीन मौजूद होंगे या फिर तमाम पक्षकार होंगे या तमाम जिन जिन लोगों ने पिटीशंस लगाई हैं वो भी वहाँ पर होंगे सर्वे के दौरान, इंस्पेक्शन के दौरान?
मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहूँगा इस बात को, क्योंकि ये न्यायिक प्रक्रिया है और न्यायिक प्रक्रिया के अंतर्गत जो भी कोई कार्य होता है वो न्यायालय के आदेश के अंतर्गत होता है। इसमें न्यायालय के द्वारा आदेश जो दिया गया है कि पक्षकारगणों की मौजूदगी में उनको सूचना देकर, बाकी जो मौजूद पक्ष जो हमारे दावेज में जो संबंधित पक्षकार हैं वो मौजूद रह सकते हैं, उनको सूचना मिलेगी। अन्य किसी पक्षकार के लिए कोई आदेश नहीं है।
सर, अभी कुल मिला के कितने पक्षकार हैं जो पूरे इस मामले में है, जिन्होंने सूट फाइल किया हुआ है, सिविल सूट, जो कि इस डिस्प्यूटेड लैंड को लेकर के है?
इस समय हमारी तरफ से हिंदू सेना के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष विष्णु गुप्ता जी हैं, सुरजीत सिंह उपाध्यक्ष हैं, दोनों के द्वारा ये दावा दाखिल किया गया है। जो ठाकुर जी हैं, तृतीय ठाकुर जी हैं जिनके लिए भूमि है ये, और इसमें कृष्ण सेवा संस्थान ट्रस्ट कृष्ण सेवा संस्थान सोसाइटी, इंतजाम कमेटी शाही ईदगाह मथुरा और बफ सुन्नी सेंटर बफ बोर्ड लखनऊ 4 पक्षकार प्रतिवादीगण हैं।
शैलेश जी, आप हिंदू सेना को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, सर्वे बिल्कुल वैसे किया जाएगा, वीडियोग्राफिक सर्वे जैसे ज्ञानव्यापी मॉस्क में हम लोगों ने देखा, मस्जिद में किस तरह सर्वे किया गया है। अगर इस डिस्प्यूटेड कॉम्प्लेक्स की बात करें, शाही ईदगाह मॉस्क की, जो श्री कृष्ण जन्म स्थान में है, किस तरह से हिंदू सेना कह रहा है कि वो जो जमीन है वो डिस्प्यूटेड है, वहां पे कभी कृष्ण भगवान का मंदिर हुआ करता था, औरंगजेब ने उसको ढाया, डिमोलिश किया, उस पर शाही ईदगाह बनाया। ये क्या कोई तथ्य मौजूद है इस बाबत?
हर्षिता जी, ये सभी चीज़ें कागजाती साक्ष्य और प्रमाणिकता पे वहाँ मौजूद है। हमारे पास जो ठाकुर जी के नाम पे 13.37 एकड़ भूमि है, उसके सारे साक्ष्य मौजूद हैं जो कागजात में दर्ज हैं। आज से नहीं, 400 साल पुराने कागजात मौजूद है जिनमें ठाकुर जी के नाम पे भूमि दर्ज चली आती है। उसके अलावा जब औरंगजेब ने इसको, हमारे मंदिर को तोड़ के बनाया था, वो सारी इसी चीज़ों के कुछ शिलान्यास हैं जिनके द्वारा ये उनको बनाया गया, वो प्रमाणक भी वहाँ पर मौजूद मिलेंगे।
So Rukma, you were hearing Shailesh Tupe. He is an advocate who's representing Hindu Sena. An official survey could happen any day in this coming week. So you are watching Republic TV. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back after a short break as we are showing you the breaking and visuals continuously on all the news all over the country. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से यह प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेत शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहाँ पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता।
And some international news now. Brazil's Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is sworn in as president, assuming office for the 3rd time after thwarting far-right incumbent Jair Bolsonaro's re-election bid. He also received the presidential sash after being sworn in as president. Lawmakers of Brazilian President Lula da Silva's new cabinet sworn in. Lula is assuming office for the 3rd time after thwarting far-right incumbent Bolsonaro's re-election bid. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah visited the Western Wall. In Jerusalem, Netanyahu returned to power for an unprecedented 6th term as Israel's Prime Minister on Thursday. New York Governor Kathy Hochul sworn in for her first elected term, making history as the first woman elected to the position in the state. Hochul called for making the state more affordable, citing the high cost of living. All is not well in China as videos show a different reality about the COVID situation. However, Chinese President Xi Jinping confirms that the situation is under control.
And time for a short break. On the other side, horrific hit-and-run case in the national capital. 20-year-old mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 5 arrested. Big focus on notes ban. Top court to pronounce judgment on demonetization today.
This is Abhishek Kapoor reporting from New Delhi, and this is Republic.
जैन समाज की तरफ से ये प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से ये प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर
Second Stampede in Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. Who will take responsibility? It's a horrific hit-and-run case in the national capital. A 20-year-old is mowed down and dragged for 4 kilometers. 5 people are arrested. The victim's family alleges foul play, asks for a CBI investigation. However, the police refutes these allegations. Yet another cowardly attack in Jammu and Kashmir. 4 people are shot dead within 10 minutes in Rajouri. Big focus on the note ban. Top court to pronounce judgment on demonetization. The Sri Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah case is in court today. Court to decide on survey timings. Good morning and welcome. You're watching live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Now, hours after the terror attack was reported in Rajouri that claimed life of 4 civilians, injuring about 6 others, an IED blast has been reported a while ago. Reports suggest that 5 people have been injured in this attack. Now, do remember that even as this IED blast was reported in that very area, there was a huge search and cordon operation that was already on to be able to nab the 2 terrorists who were the perpetrators behind last night's attack. Now, do remember that this is a large area that covers the forests in Rajouri, where The security forces are looking for these terrorists who are believed to be hiding. Gursimran is reporting on this. He joins us live right now. Gursimran, give us the latest in terms of this IED blast which was heard a while ago. We are given to understand that about 5 people have been injured in this latest attack.
Yes, 5 people have been injured, and what we are getting to know that one minor has lost his life in this unfortunate attack. Not going to the operational details of the ongoing operations. This is the place where this operation is underway, and I'll request Sir Jeevan to come this way. And also लगातार मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ कि किस तरह से इस इलाके में जो ऑपरेशन है वो यहाँ पर लगातार जारी है. भारतीय सेना, जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस जो है वो यहाँ पर ऑपरेशंस को अंजाम दे रही है. कोई भी विजुअल्स हम ऑपरेशंस का नहीं दिखा रहे हैं. ये रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस के विजुअल्स हैं. किसी भी तरह की ऑपरेशनल डिटेल्स जो हैं वो रिपब्लिक मीडिया नेटवर्क साझा नहीं करता है, जिससे कि सुरक्षा बलों के ऑपरेशंस में किसी भी तरह का खलल जो है वो यहाँ पर आए. 5 जो जिनमें 3 बच्चे और 2 महिलाएं थे वो इसमें घायल हुए हैं. और अब आप देखेंगे कि जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के तमाम आला अधिकारी जो हैं वो मौके पर मौजूद हैं. ठीक उसी इलाके में जहाँ से हम चंद मिनट पहले रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे वहाँ पर जो है एक ब्लास्ट होता है. संदिग्ध आईडी या ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट जो है वो बताया जा रहा है. पुलिस के जो वरिष्ठ अधिकारी हैं वो यहाँ पर चंद मिनटों में पहुँच रहे हैं. तमाम जो भारतीय सेना है उसके साथ साथ जो स्पेशल ऑपरेशंस ग्रुप है, स्पेशल फोर्सेस हैं, वो यहाँ पर आप देखिए पहुँच गए हैं. और कोशिश ये की जा रही है कि अगर आसपास के इलाके में किसी और तरह का एक्सप्लोजिव है तो उसे जल्द से जल्द निष्क्रिय किया जा सके. देखिए लोग जो हैं वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा गुस्सा हैं पुलिस से भी, क्योंकि जिस तरह से कल ये हमला हुआ उसके बाद से लगातार ये कोशिश की जा रही थी कि पूरे इलाके में आतंकियों को ढूंढा जाए, लेकिन फिर भी उसके बावजूद आतंक का एक बड़ा जो जखीरा है वो कैसे यहाँ पर रह गया वो अब सुरक्षा बल तलाशने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. पूरे इलाके को यहाँ पर पहले ही अंडर कॉर्डन रखा गया था, लेकिन अब जो है कॉर्डन को इंटेंसिफाई कर दिया गया है इस पूरी जगह तक, ताकि जल्द से जल्द जो है उन आतंकी और आतंकी समर्थकों तक पहुँचा जाए जिन्होंने यहाँ पर इस आतंकी हमले को अंजाम दिया है. आप देखेंगे कि ऊपर की तरफ जो है अब जो जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस वहाँ पे पहुँच गई है, स्पेशल फोर्सेस वहाँ पर हैं, भारतीय सेना वहाँ पर है. लेकिन एकाएक जब हमारी नज़रों के सामने जो है धमाका हुआ और वो लोग जो वहाँ पर खड़े थे वो हवा के झोंके की तरह, जिस तरह पत्ते जो हैं वो हवा के झोंके से हिल जाते हैं, उस तरह से लोग जो हैं वो वहाँ पर ब्लास्ट के साथ ही उड़ गए. कई लोगों के जो हैं अपने पैर इस जो है इस ब्लास्ट में गंवा दिए. ये ग्रेनेड है या एक संदिग्ध आईडी है, इसकी अब जाँच की जा रही है, क्योंकि तकरीबन जो मॉडस जिस तरह से ये ट्रिगर हुआ है ये ग्रेनेड भी हो सकता है या फिर संदिग्ध आईडी भी हो सकता है. और ये एक भयानक हादसा था जो एक बार फिर सामने आया है. पहले 4 लोगों की जान चली गई है, यहाँ पर एक बच्चा जो है उसकी मौत हुई है ऐसा बताया जा रहा है. 4 लोग जो हैं वो घायल हैं, जिनमें से 2 की हालत काफ़ी ज़्यादा गंभीर है. लोगों को समझ नहीं आ रहा था क्योंकि लोग उस घर में वहाँ के लोगों से अफसोस करने के लिए गए थे जिनके लोग शहीद हुए कल के आतंक की हमले में. और जैसे ही वो बरामदे में बैठे थे, अब से चंद मिनट पहले हम लोग वहां से रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे, और जैसे ही यहां पे ब्लास्ट हुआ तो एकाएक जो है अफरा तफरी मच गई और जो 5 लोग हैं वो घायल हुए, जिनमें से कि बताया जा रहा है कि एक की मौत हो गई है. जी.
All right, even as Gursimran, of course, is taking us through the details of what happened, Gursimran, what we wanted to ask you was that yesterday it was believed that these terrorists who were hiding could have been heavily armed, because you were telling us earlier that the people who reported seeing them said that they appeared to be carrying large backpacks. Now, with this latest IED blast, obviously the security forces would perhaps now have deeper knowledge in terms of whether they wanted to stay on for a longer time.
Yes, the people are agitated. They are staging protest against the Jammu and Kashmir police. They are saying that the police has failed to save the innocent lives of the people, and that's why this kind of incident has come into fore. However, the officials are trying to ensure that the situation remains intact. They are agitated. मुझे बताइए, आज फिर हादसा हुआ, एक बच्चे की जान भी गई.
2 बच्चों की जान गई है. हाँ, ये रात को आईडी दिखा के चल गए. सुबह से पुलिस आई यहाँ पे, कोई चेकिंग वगैरह कोई कुछ नहीं किया. और सुबह के पुलिस आई है यहाँ पे, रात को डेड बॉडी वहाँ पे रही. रात को कोई पुलिस वाला कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं था वहाँ पे. ये क्या पुलिस क्या प्रोटेक्शन करेगी? सुबह 10 बजे नाश्ता करके इधर आ रहे हैं।
So they are really very agitated with the Jammu and Kashmir police. They said that area was not cleared by the Jammu and Kashmir police, and that is the reason that the person claims that two minors have lost their life. However, we have got the confirmation about one only. The other one was critically injured and was taken in the army ambulance to the nearby medical facility. But this is one of the tragic incidents that have been reported earlier. 4 लोगों की जो है जिंदगियां चली गई हैं, और उसके बाद अब आप देखिए कि यहाँ पर एक आईडी या संदिग्ध ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट होता है चंद मीटर की दूरी पर, और लोग जो आसपास के इलाके में थे वो हवा के झोंकों के साथ ऐसा लगा मानो हवा में वो गए, और उसके बाद जो है शत विशत हालत में लोग यहाँ पहुंचे। तब हम तकरीबन यहीं पे हम लोग थे जब वो लोग यहाँ पर आए एक बड़े ब्लास्ट के बाद। तो जब चीज़ें समझ में आई तो तब लहूलुहान लोग जो हैं वो यहाँ पर पहुँचे थे। भारतीय सेना के जवानों ने, जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के जवानों ने अपनी जान पर खेलकर जो है इन लोगों को रेस्क्यू करवाया है। इस बात में कोई शक नहीं है कि जो आईडी ब्लास्ट हुआ उसके बाद, और अब जो है कुछ लोगों का उपचार जो है वो ज़िला अस्पताल में जारी है।
Now, Gursimran, what details have you in terms of this IED? Was this an IED that was left behind, or was any new information that you are getting as respect to this? Because obviously locals extremely angry. You were talking to some of them who believe that the area was not cleared properly.
यस देखिए, एक बात बड़ी साफ है कि जो आम लोग हैं उनका गुस्सा बेहद जायज़ है। उनका कहना है कि कल देर शाम ये आतंकी हमला हुआ, उसके बाद पूरी रात का समय था, सुबह जो है तब भी पुलिस से और भारतीय सेना की तरफ से एरिया क्लियर नहीं किया गया, और इसीलिए ये लोग जो हैं नाराज़ हैं। ये भारतीय जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस से खासे नाराज़ हैं कि पुलिस की तरफ से जो क्लियरेंस ऑपरेशंस थे उनको अंजाम नहीं दिया गया। तभी यही कारण है कि यहाँ पर जो है ब्लास्ट हुआ है। लेकिन देखिए, अभी इनकी ब्लास्ट के नेचर की टेक्निकलिटीज़ में नहीं जाया जा सकता, क्योंकि ये बहुत ज़्यादा इनिशियल समय है। क्या ये एक आईडी थी, क्या ये एक ग्रेनेड था, या फिर कहीं से जो है यहाँ पर अटैक को ट्रिगर किया गया है, यानी कि क्या किसी लॉन्चर के तरह से कुछ मारा गया है। ये चीज़ें जो हैं ये एजेंसी से आगे बता पाएंगे। आप देखिए, इस वक्त भारतीय सेना, जो बम डिस्पोजल स्क्वाड है, जो स्पेशल ऑपरेशंस ग्रुप हैं, वो सब वहाँ पर पहुँच गए हैं, और कोशिश ये की जा रही है कि जल्द से जल्द मॉडस ऑपरेंडी क्या था, किस चीज़ को यहाँ पर ट्रिगर किया गया, वो पता लगाया जाए। देखिए, रिस्पॉन्डिंग टाइम जो है वो काफ़ी जल्दी था, क्योंकि यहाँ पर ही जो घेरा है, जो एक्सटर्नल सर्कल है, क्योंकि उस तरफ इंटेंसिफाइड सर्चेज यहाँ पर चल रही थी, तो यहां पे सुरक्षा घेरा पहले ही बना हुआ था। तो चंद मिनटों में ही भारतीय सेना जो है और जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस यहां पर पहुंच गई थी। लेकिन लोग जो हैं वो अभी भी काफी ज्यादा गुस्से में हैं। उनका कहना है कि अगर इस इलाके को पूरी तरह से क्लियर किया जाता तो ये जो जानों की क्षति हुई है ये ना होती। जी।
Now, Gursimran, the other part of this, of course, is the fact that there appear to be targeted attacks. Now, what we are given to understand is that minorities were attacked, and are the security forces also perhaps looking at a local, support group for these terrorists, because they were clearly able to identify homes of minorities and then barge in and fire upon them?
Yes, the security agencies are looking into it. There is no denying in the fact that, see, some more injured are being brought in, 2 more injured. So 7 people total have been injured in this blast that has taken place. देखिए, लगातार जो हैं ये 7 लोग जो हैं वो इंजर्ड हुए हैं, जिसमें कि जो 5 बच्चे हैं और जो बड़े लोग हैं, एक और जो है व्यक्ति यहाँ पर महिला जो हैं वो इंजर्ड हुई हैं। आप देखिए, ये लोग जो हैं ये घरों के अंदर थे, और अब लगातार इन्हें जो है वो सुरक्षा बल लेके आ रहे हैं। कुछ और लोग जो हैं वो इंजर्ड हुए हैं। आप देखिए, जिन लोगों को यहाँ पर क्षति हुई है, लगातार नुकसान पहुँचा है। अब ये जो संख्या है वो बढ़ रही है। 10 लोग, कुल 10 लोगों की ये संख्या जो है वो अब पहुंच गई है। यानी कि कल के जो अटैक था उसमें भी 10 लोग घायल हुए थे, जिनमें से कि 4 की मौत हुई थी। और अब जो है इस अटैक ये जो ब्लास्ट हुआ है, संदिग्ध ब्लास्ट, इसमें भी जो है 10 लोग इंजर्ड हुए हैं। लगातार सरजीवन आपको विजुअल सिखा रहे हैं जिस तरह से इंजर्ड्स को जो है वो यहाँ पे लाया जा रहा है स्थानीय लोगों की तरफ से, सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से, कि जल्द से जल्द इन्हें जो है प्राथमिक उपचार पहुँचाया जाए। जो लोग पास के घर में भी मौजूद थे उन्हें भी जो है किसी न किसी तरह से चोटें आई हैं। सर अब ऊपर कोई है?
ऊपर कोई नहीं है। इस पर एक पूरी मुड़ा किसान गया बस उन लबा के रसने के
2 लोग अभी मिसिंग,
जो छोटे बच्चे हैं 2 छोटे
कुल अभी तक 10 लोग इंजर्ड आ गए।
हाँ जी जी।
तो 10 लोग अभी तक इंजर्ड हुए हैं। 2 बच्चे बताया जा रहा है कि जो अभी भी मिसिंग हैं। ये देखिए आप कि यहाँ पर रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस जो हैं वो यहाँ पे चलाए जा रहे हैं लगातार। वहाँ पर भारतीय सेना ऑपरेशंस चला रही है। सर आप लोग ऊपर थे जब ये हादसा हुआ?
नहीं, हम चौक में थे। हम यहाँ जब आए तो आईडी का ब्लास्ट हुआ। तो मेरे हिसाब से यहाँ नाकामयाबी है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की। इतना बड़ा कांड होने के बाद भी इस एरिया को सर्च नहीं किया गया और आज सुबह ये हादसा हुआ जिसमें हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चे जख्मी हो गए। और ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की बहुत नालायकी है कि यहाँ सर्च की जानी चाहिए।
तो आप देखिए लगातार जो है ये ऑपरेशंस को इंटेंसिफाई किया जा रहा है। भारतीय सेना के जवान जो एक्स्ट्रा टीम्स हैं उनको यहाँ पर मूव किया जा रहा है। जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस की जो स्पेशल ऑपरेशंस ग्रुप है, विशेष दस्ता जो है वो अब ऊपर की तरफ आप देखिए जा रहा है। वहाँ पे बताया जा रहा है कि कुछ और लोग जो कि 2 लोग मिसिंग हैं वो शायद वहाँ पर उस घर में हैं और इसीलिए अब एसओजी की टीम्स को मूव किया जा रहा है। यानी कि लगातार जो एडिशनल फोर्सेस हैं वो ऊपर के इलाके में भेजी जा रही हैं और रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस को जल्द से जल्द करने की कोशिश जो है वो की जा रही है। ठीक वही बरामदा है जहां पर अगर सरजीवन आपको दिखा पाएं तो एक अभी कुछ देर पहले ये आईडी या फिर ये ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट जो है वो हुआ है। अब यहां पर एनालिसिस जो है वो सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से किया जा रहा है कि आखिरकार वो एक्सप्लोजिव था क्या जो फटा है, जिसमें कि अभी तक 10 लोग जो है इंजर्ड हुए हैं। एम्बुलेंसेस से जो है अब इंजर्ड्स को जल्द से जल्द जो है हॉस्पिटल पहुंचाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। 10 इंजर्ड कुल अभी तक इस जो ब्लास्ट हुआ है, चाहे वो आईडी ब्लास्ट कहा जाए या फिर ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट है, उसमें हुए हैं और अब उन्हें जल्द से जल्द यहां से ले जाने की कोशिश जो है वो की जा रही है। लगातार सरजीवन जो हैं वो आपको विजुअल सिखा रहे हैं कि किस तरह से अब भारतीय सेना ये कोशिश कर रही है कि इंजर्ड्स को जल्द से जल्द यहां से ले जाया जाए ताकि उन्हें प्राथमिक उपचार जो है वो मुहैया करवाया जाए। आप देखिए लगातार विशेष जो दस्ते हैं वो वहां पर ऊपर पहुंच गए हैं। यानी कि सुरक्षा बलों का जो स्पेशल ऑपरेशंस ग्रुप है वो वहां पे ऊपर पहुंच चुका है और कोशिश ये है कि जल्द से जल्द ये कोशिश की जाए कि किसी बड़े हमले से रोका जा सके, क्योंकि इससे पहले भी हमने देखा कि लगातार ये कोशिशें सुरक्षा बल कर रहे हैं कि जल्द से जल्द उन आतंकियों तक पहुंचा जाए। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं अब जिस तरह से हालात एक बार फिर से उत्पन्न हुए हैं उसके बाद अब सुरक्षा बल लगातार ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आतंकी हमले को जो है विफल किया जाए और इन आतंकियों को जल्द से जल्द जो है वो मार गिराया जाए। ये प्रयास जो है वो अब सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से किया जा रहा है। मैं सरजीवन से कहूँगा कि सरजीवन जो हैं वो लगातार साथ में आ ही रहे हैं, वो विजुअल्स भी दिखा पाएँ, क्योंकि ये हम उस वक्त उस अटैक साइट पर, उस ब्लास्ट साइट पर जा रहे हैं जहाँ पर ये ब्लास्ट जो है वो हुआ है। आखिरकार क्या था, किस तरह का एक्सप्लोजिव था, वो अब सुरक्षा बल यहाँ पे जांचने का जो है प्रयास कर रहे हैं। ये देखिए कितना बड़ा ब्लास्ट जो है वो यहाँ पे सामने आया है और आप देखिए यहाँ पे क्योंकि कुछ लकड़ी के टुकड़े यहाँ पे पड़े हुए थे और देखिए पूरा घर जो है वो तहस नहस हो गया है। यहाँ पे लोग खड़े थे। हम उस ऑपरेशन साइट से काफ़ी ज़्यादा दूर हैं, किसी भी तरह की ऑपरेशन डिटेल्स जो हैं वो डाइवर्स नहीं की जा रही, लेकिन यहाँ पे जो है कोशिश की जा रही है। यहाँ पे आईडी प्लांट किया गया था, यहाँ पे कुछ लकड़ी के टुकड़े पड़े थे जब सुबह हमने दिखाया था और यहीं से वो आईडी ब्लास्ट जो है वो ट्रिगर हुआ। आप देखिए कि घर में जो है खिड़कियां अंदर से पूरी तरह से टूट चुकी हैं, कांच जो है वो पूरी तरह से यहाँ पे टूटा है। तो ये ग्राउंड जीरो से हम आपको दिखा रहे थे कि किस तरह से जो आईडी ब्लास्ट है हुआ है, जिसमें कि 5 लोग घायल हुए हैं, जिनमें कि एक बताया जा रहा है कि मृत्यु हुई है। जी
All right, so as Gursimran is pointing out, this is the location of this latest IED blast. Now, what we know so far, of course, is that about 10 people have been injured in this IED blast that took place nearly about half an hour to 45 minutes ago. Thereafter, of course, the injured have been taken to hospital. We are also given to understand that there may be considerable anger amongst the local population over the fact that this IED was not cleared from the house. But this entire area has now now been cordoned off, and of course search operations have been on since last night. Gursimran is just catching a breath right now. He's been reporting constantly from this morning, bringing us the latest on the operation that started last night. If I can go back to Gursimran right now to get more details, what we are given to understand, Gursimran, is that this is a really large forested area that security forces now have to scour through, and that's perhaps been one of the main challenges.
देखिए लगातार यहाँ पे ऊपर बताया जा रहा है कि उस घर में भी एक और आईडी जो है वो बताई जा रही है, संदिग्ध आईडी जो है वो एक और घर पे मिली है।
लगाई हुई है। अब के जवानों ने वहाँ पोजीशन जो है वो संभाली हुई है और पूरे इलाके को खाली किया जा रहा है।
देखिए लगातार जो है सरजीवन आपको विजुअल्स दिखा रहे हैं कि ये जो ऊपर का इलाका है, मैं सरजीवन से कहूँगा कि आपको विजुअल्स दिखाते रहें लगातार कि वहाँ पर एक और संदिग्ध आईडी जो है वो स्पॉट से डिटेक्ट हुई है। ये घर जो है उस घर के चंद मिनट की दूरी पर है और अब लगातार सुरक्षा बल जो हैं इलाके को खाली करके ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जल्द से जल्द उसे खाली कराया जाए। लगातार सुरक्षा बलों का ये प्रयास है कि जल्द से जल्द इस आईडी को जो है वो डिफ्यूज़ किया जाए। वो ठीक ऊपर का घर है जहां पे ये संदिग्ध आईडी जो है वो सुरक्षा बलों को मिला है और अब यहां पे पूरे इलाके में सर्च जो है वो जारी है। ठीक ऊपर का घर है। सरजीवन, अगर आपको वहां के विजुअल्स जो हैं वो दिखा पाएँ तो एक क्लियर व्यू यहाँ से मिल पाएगा कि किस तरह से आतंकियों की तरफ से कई घरों में जो है आईडी यहाँ पर इंस्टॉल किया गया था ताकि लगातार यहाँ पे किसी बड़े हमले को अंजाम दिया जाए। अब सुरक्षा बल ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जल्द से जल्द इस आईडी को जो है डिफ्यूज़ किया जाए। तो बड़ा आतंकी हमला और आतंक का प्लान जो है वो सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से विफल किया गया है और अब सुरक्षा बल ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जल्द से जल्द यहाँ पे एरिया को क्लियर किया जाए। लेकिन 2 आईडी क्योंकि वो यहाँ पर छूटे रह गए थे, अब सुरक्षा बलों को इस बाबत ये चिंता का विषय भी है कि आखिरकार किस तरह से ये आईडीज़ जो हैं यहाँ पे रह गए और कि अगर ये आईडी दूसरा भी ट्रिगर हुआ होता तो कितना ज़्यादा नुकसान जो है वो सुरक्षा बलों को हो सकता था। लेकिन अब जो है क्योंकि दूसरा आईडी संदिग्ध आईडी जो है उसे डिटेक्ट कर लिया है तो आप कह सकते हैं कि एक बड़े एक और धमाके को, हमले को जो है वो सुरक्षा बलों की तरफ से रोका गया है। जी।
All right, so pictures on your screens are of the operation that is continuously on in Rajouri district. The operation began last night after about 2 suspected terrorists barged into homes of minorities and started firing indiscriminately. This led, of course, to the killing of 3 people and injuring of several others. Now, thereafter, since last night, there is a cordon and search operation that has been launched in this entire area. But this morning, there was an IED that appears to have been planted late at night, was left in one of the homes, and it did go off. Unfortunately, we are told that 1 child lost his life in this IED blast this morning, and of course 10 others have been wounded in this action. So on your screens right now are of the visuals of both these attacks, one that took place late last night and the other that took place this morning. This is now a heavily forested area where the terrorists are believed to be hiding. Now, yesterday, of course, locals who we interviewed seemed to suggest that terrorists were 2 in number. They were carrying AK series rifles, as has been also confirmed by security forces. They also did have big backpacks. So perhaps security forces now looking at the fact that they could be in for the long haul. Now, do remember that Rajouri has a deeply forested area, and hence it is difficult for security forces and has been a challenge rather to be able to locate these terrorists. I think I'm going to try and go back to Gursimran right now for a quick ground situation update. Now, Gursimran, you were reporting just minutes ago that there is another location where there could be another suspected IED. What are you hearing from security forces on that?
Hello. Yes. Can you repeat?
I was asking you, Gursimran, that you were just reporting that there may be another suspected IED in that same area. Can you tell us more, please?
Yes, so the entire area has been cordoned in by the security agencies after the reports that suspected IED has been detected. The number of IEDs could go up to 2 also. That is what we are getting to know. We'll try to speak to some of the locals who were in the area ahead. मुझे ये बताइए ऊपर कितनी IEDs हो रहे हैं?
सर हमें पता नहीं, हमने बच्चे निकाले, आर्मी यहाँ खड़ी थी मौके पे और किसी ने बच्चों को नहीं उठाया और बोलते हैं हमारे बेटे साहब जा रहे हैं।
तो वहाँ पे आईडीज कुछ और मिली?
सर एक लगी है वहाँ द्वार के साथ और इस मकान के अंदर के बच्चे जख्मी थे 5, किसी आर्मी वाले किसी पुलिस वाले ने नहीं।
जी, so the locals are agitated from the forces and also some of the IEDs that have been detected in the area that is at some distance from here. That IED has been detected and now the entire area has been cordoned by the security forces so as to ensure that See, some of the senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they are arriving here at the spot, and also some of the officials from the central agencies too are arriving at the spot to have a closer look on what has transpired. And a senior officer of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they are also at the spot. The locals are also staging protest as the locals are anguished with the way the working of police has been so far. And since the BJP J&K chief is here, the people are agitated and the people are saying that this is not the way the people should actually, the forces should work. We will try to speak to SSP Rajouri. Sir, और भी IDs मिली ऊपर? So a confirmation that some more IEDs have been detected and now the teams of the Jammu and Kashmir police, they are moving to the spot to ascertain the situation. SSP Rajouri is going to the spot. Yes, back to you people.
All right, so senior officials of the police seem to be at the spot right now, and Gursimran has just confirmed to us that there could be more IEDs in this area. You are watching Republic TV. We slip into a very short break. We're going to come back and bring you the latest in terms of what's happening in Rajouri. Also, on the other side, we bring you details of the Delhi hit-and-run horror case where a 20-year-old is dragged for kilometers. And it is the big demonetization verdict that comes up today in the Supreme Court.
I'm Niranjan Narayanaswamy in Mumbai, and this is Republic.
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
यही वो बलोनो गाड़ी है जिससे ये एक्सीडेंट यहाँ पर हुआ है। सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि आखिर में 20 साल की लड़की इस गाड़ी में फंसती है और उन लड़कों को नहीं पता चलता। जो स्टेटमेंट उनकी ओर से लगातार ये दिया जा रहा है कि उनको इस बात की जानकारी नहीं कि वो लड़की इस गाड़ी में जो है वो फंसी हुई थी, कि स्कूटी का ये जो आगे का हिस्सा है, आगे का हिस्सा वो पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुका है।
जैन समाज की तरफ से ये प्रदर्शन किया जा रहा है। समेश शिखर जी, जो जैन समाज का एक तीर्थ स्थल माना जाता है, उसको जब केंद्र सरकार और झारखंड सरकार ने पर्यटन स्थल घोषित कर दिया, उसके बाद से ये प्रोटेस्ट जो है वो हमें देश के तमाम अलग अलग हिस्सों में जो है वो देखने को मिल रहा है। यहाँ पर लगातार जो है दिल्ली पुलिस डिटेन करती हुई नजर आ रही है जैन समाज के लोगों को।
तो अभी मैं GK2 में खड़ा हूँ और आप मेरे राइट साइड में देख सकती हैं, ये वही अंतरा केयर सेंटर है जहां पर सुबह में आग लगी है। लगभग 5 बजे का वो समय बताया जा रहा है। जो सेकंड फ्लोर है और थर्ड फ्लोर है, उन्हीं दोनों फ्लोर में आग सबसे ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई। उसमें बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की झुलसने से मौत हो गई है और साथ ही 6 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है।
And here's a quick recap of the top headlines. It's a horrific hit-and-run case in the national capital. A 20-year-old is mowed down and dragged for about 4 kilometers. 5 people have been arrested. The victim's family alleges foul play, asks for a CBI investigation, but the Delhi police refutes these charges. It is yet another cowardly attack in Jammu and Kashmir. 4 people are shot dead within 10 minutes in Rajouri. It's a second stampede at Chandrababu Naidu's event in 5 days. Who will take responsibility? Big focus on the note ban. The top court is to pronounce its judgment on demonetization today. And the Krishna Janmabhoomi Shahi Eidgah case is in the court today. The court will be deciding on timings for the survey. A 20-year-old woman died in a horrific manner in the national capital where she was dragged after her scooty was hit allegedly by a car. She was dragged for nearly 4 to 7 kilometers. That's the varying claims that we've heard about. She was found in a brutal condition on the road by the Delhi police later. Now, we are given to understand that the family is asking for a CBI investigation. They, of course, say that the Delhi police is just trying to shut this case and not do a thorough investigation. But so far, what we know is that there were 2 PCR vans which reported the fact at about 3:30 that there was a body that was being dragged by this car, and the second PCR call was received about half an hour later, suggesting that there was a girl's body that was found lying on the road. To give us more details as to how the investigations are progressing, let's go across to Piyush Ori. Tanisha also will be live with us in just a bit. But Piyush, the family so far is very unconvinced with what the police has been saying. They, of course, have asked for a CBI inquiry. Now, what are the charges that they are making?
So you rightly mentioned, Nupur, that yes, the family remains unconvinced of what actually would have happened to Anjali that night. Now, police was claiming for long that, this incident was due to mishap, but the family members are convinced that this is not a case of accident, but it is a case of sexual assault and then a brutal murder. In fact, the family members have also come on camera and have mentioned that this cover-up is being done by the Delhi police purely because one of the accused, known as Manoj Mittal, who is involved in this incident, who is one of the accused who was apprehended by the Delhi police, is associated with BJP, and that's why he's been protected. Now, it is going to be interesting to see from here on how the Delhi police is going to be taking action. What we have initially, to begin with, the Delhi police had registered the case under sections of 304A, that is death due to rash driving, and 279, which is rash driving. Now, these were very light sections under which the case was registered, and there would have been a high chance that the accused involved would have gone scot-free, would have got bail. But now what we are being told is that constant pressure in this case has forced the Delhi police to also add the section of 304, which is culpable homicide, which means that if convicted, the accused in this case can get life imprisonment. So yes, the pressure is building on Delhi police in this case, and now it is going to be interesting to see that from here on how the investigation is going to unfold. Back to the studio.
All right, Piyush Ori bringing us those details of the investigation so far in this hit-and-run case. Thank you for joining us. Now, the Supreme Court is slated to pronounce its verdict shortly on a bunch of petitions challenging the BJP-led union government's 2016 move of demonetizing 500 and 1,000 rupee banknotes. And joining me for more on this is our legal editor, Rhythm Bharadwaj. Rhythm, good morning. It's going to be a very important judgment in terms of the fact that perhaps it will look into what this led to and perhaps the way forward as well. So give us a sense, Rhythm, of what we should be expecting today. All right, so I don't think we've been able to establish that connection with Rhythm right now, but we'll go back to her in just a bit. But I think we've got Mr. Manish Barrier. He's a political analyst. He's joining us for this. Now, Mr. Barrier, good morning. Thank you very much for speaking to us on Republic TV. Obviously, it's going to be something that will be watched out for very acutely when this judgment does come out. In terms of the political significance of this verdict, what would you say would be the top thing to come out today?
I feel that it is very interesting because even Supreme Court, has said that the government's push has been it's an economic decision, and that is the prerogative of the government to really take decision. And Supreme Court says that it is not so. Even if it's an economic decision, we can still discuss and we can come up with certain judgments. So it's it's a very, very interesting kind of a thing. But my understanding is that it would have a political ramifications for sure. If any kind of a judgment comes which is against the government, then opposition can obviously take this and they can say that we said so. It would also have far-reaching implications for the governance of the country as a whole. And I fear that with due respect to the honorable judges of Supreme Court, if they start taking such kind of judgments on economic decisions, and that too something which has gone 4 or 5 years back, I think it may really come up with a policy paralysis, which we saw during the UPA government, because then a lot of there were a lot of decisions which were not taken in UPA 2 because what happened during UPA 1 end, or maybe in UPA 2, the corruption cases. So it would have far-reaching ramifications for sure. And I feel that the country has moved on. We all understand that demonetization, if we look at from people's perspective, yes, we did go through a lot of, problems. But then from nation's perspective, as far as terror financing goes, black money and, ushering in the entire payment system, in fact, there is a joke going around in India that if you see someone using banknotes in the month of December, they must be NRIs, because we all understand the kind of deep penetration banking as well as payment system has gone in our country. That is thanks to demonetization. So now we realize that. But it would be pretty interesting to see how really Supreme Court looks at this particular case.
Right now, Mr. Barrier, very, very quickly, do you feel that this is perhaps going to be more of an academic exercise now? Because as you yourself said, this is a retrospective, issue that is now being raked up once again in the court. So do you feel that this is largely going to be academic in nature?
Yeah, this exercise is academic in nature, but I also think that there is a fight going on the constitution points. Mr. Chidambaram is fighting on that, and I think the opposition is saying that the government did not take RBI into confidence, and it was RBI board which really had to take this decision, or it was at least to be consulted. But then government has given its own, legal provisions, I think 1934 Act or something, where the government says that we had floated this idea, and it is a fact. Demonetization as an idea is not new. It was not something, it was implemented for the first time in the country, but the idea was being floated much before that. So, these things, I think there would be some legal, kind of technical kind of a judgments also on the provisions, or whether the government really took the right kind of, they followed the right process while making that decision. I think that would be some of the thing. But otherwise, you can't really do anything. It is an academic exercise for sure. And, even if you look at data, then the decadal data also, 6.8% post demonetization. It means that it did not have any negative effect in terms of overall growth of our economy as such. We grew pretty healthily, right? So there were other benefits of demonetization which people over a period of time have realized. So I think largely an academic exercise.
Right, so you think it's going to be the processes that perhaps will be in review. My colleague
I think
Shivangi also
some constitutional points would be discussed. That would be more of...
Right, stay with us, Mr. Baria. I think Shivangi also has a question for you. Go ahead, Shivangi.
Right. Now this is something that we are looking forward to, because a lot of petitions have gone out, like we know, and viewers are also watching us, waiting for what the verdict will be. But there will be two different verdicts. And what if they are concurring or they're not concurring? How will that really make a difference, and what can we expect next? Let's say that two verdicts are not concurring and they are completely different to each other. What can we expect after that?
Is that the question to me?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so, it is quite, in fact, interesting, because as I said earlier, one is a constitutional point and the other is the validity of the decision itself. So these 2 points are separate. One is primarily a legal point and the other would have political ramifications. Also, there are, I think the Supreme Court judge who heads this bench, Mr. Nazir, is going to retire on 4th. So there are a lot of, things which are going on as far as this judgment is concerned. But yes, I think, one has to respect and we all abide by the judgment of Supreme Court as such. And we need to really see, the wordings of Supreme Court, because largely what happens is that when such kind of judgment comes, people have to read the inner fine prints of the judgment as to how the court has come to the conclusion, a certain conclusion, or whether they have kept it open, because it is not it's not a case which is an open and shut case, right? There is a lot of subjectivity involved in this case, and there are data of last 5 years which one has to look at and then decide. So I feel that yes, from the constitutional point of view, I think it would be a landmark judgment, because then all future economic decisions will come within the purview of Supreme Court and can be challenged. It is something which is very, very subjective. It's not a corruption case, right? It is a decision which is taken by government in the best interest of the nation, and that is being challenged. So one has to see, how the legislature and the judiciary, what kind of, who's actually getting on whose turf and how it happens. I personally feel that if there is any kind of a negative judgment which comes, then the government might challenge it and it might go to a larger bench, right? It might, again be challenged. So I feel that this is not the end of the story. It is going to be fought legally over a period of time.
All right, Mr. Baria, do stay with us. I think we've got our legal editor, Rhythm, also joining us right now. Rhythm, important day. As you know, Mr. Baria was also pointing out, one, of course, is the academic side of things, Rhythm, that's going to perhaps be discussed today, and we'll have the view of the court on this. And the other part is the rule of law. Now, Mr. Chidambaram, of course, in his arguments, Rhythm, has said that he believes that the rule of law was flouted. He also, in his arguments, has, earlier said that he believed that it was deeply flawed and made a mockery of the rule of law. So that, of course, has been, on what Mr. Chidambaram and other senior advocates have fought this case. So your view, Rhythm, on that?
Yes, a very good morning, Nupur, Manish and Shivangi, who are also with us. A very happy new year to all our guests and also our viewers, because today is the first day the Supreme Court reopens after recess, and what a bang to open with. It's the demonetization verdict that we are going to see today in the top court. It's a 5-judge bench, Nupur, that's going to be giving out this order, and this is an order, like Manish was talking about, which is going to have a lot of impact on all the policies that have been made. Of course, the 5-day marathon hearing took place. The order was reserved in December, I think on the 7th of December. Chidambaram for the petitioners, and there are 58 petitions, viewers, that had been filed against demonetization. We all remember it happened in 2016, after which now there have been challenges to it. The government, the Supreme Court also asked for documents from the ministries in this case. So it's been a hearing that's been given a proper hearing. 5 judges means a constitution bench, which is a very senior bench of the top court that is hearing the matter. The bench is going to be assembling soon and we'll hear the matter. Nupur was talking about what Chidambaram had told the Supreme Court, stating that this is an arbitrary decision that was taken by the government and they interfered in this matter. However, the Attorney General of India, who represented the government, and Tushar Mehta, the Solicitor General of India, who represented the government, stated that this was only done because it was important and it helped in other things like terrorism activities and money laundering. They gave out a lot of statistics which I actually took note of during the hearing. When Chidambaram said it's the worst decision making, the government said that we undertook this under the RBI Act of 1934, and the reason they had undertaken this was because it completely helped India becoming a more secure nation. They also gave out figures about how our economy had gone up after demonetization that took place in 2016. Even though, yes, so this is the data I was looking for. The government justified its action by stating that it was a larger public interest that was taken into account. Fake currency, black money, terror financing, all of this stopped. The government also stated there was an impact on the economy in 2016.